Meeting to order. Would the clerk recognize the presence of a quorum?
Mayor Willis,
Here.
Chuck Lehman,
Here.
Nick Barbknick.
Present.
You do have a quorum.
Thank you. Having reviewed the minutes from the last meeting, I'd like to move that we approve the minutes from the July 23rd, 2025 Board of Public Works meeting. Do we have a second? Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. On the agenda, ahead of time, we're going to table action items number 13 and 14, and then add in an additional item as agenda item 16, donation of vehicles to the Westfield Fire Department. On to action item number 2. WSP and City of Westfield on-call contract for Union Street Drainage Project.
Yeah, for the record, John Nail, Director of Public Works. You've seen some of these before. We utilize WSP, a consulting firm, for a lot of right-of-way acquisition services within the city. This particular task order within the existing master services contract is for 9 parcels of right-of-way acquisition related to the Union Street, College, Roosevelt, and Cherry drainage improvement project, kind of around the Union Bible College campus. The project will include significant drainage improvements and some road reconstruction of these roadways. Initially, we had hoped that we could avoid some right-of-way acquisition, but as we furthered the design of this project, there's some small right-of-way acquisition required on a couple parcels. So we've reviewed the fees. WSP essentially charges what amounts to a unit rate per parcel for this work. It's in line with other ones we've approved. We're just asking for approval in the amount of $80,120.
Thank you so much. This one makes sense to me. Anyone else have questions on this one? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve is presented.
Second. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Number 3, contract award recommendation for residential solid waste, yard waste, recycling collection, and disposal.
Good afternoon. For the record, John Rogers, Director of Enterprise Development. I'm here today to give you a summary of the RFP. We had 3 companies submit bids for the consideration. All proposals were reviewed and scored by city staff, and based on pricing, service quality, and overall value to the resident. Overall value to the resident. At this time, we would recommend Waste Management, and I am requesting authorization to move forward and negotiate a 6-year agreement for your consideration next month. If you have any questions, I would take those.
I can add a little narrative to this as well, because obviously there's a few things that get residents really wound up, and trash is one of them, and rightfully so. So we were very, very thorough on what we did. Between the 3 bids, Waste Management came in as the low bid. It is a bump up from what our residents are currently used to paying. And we knew, at least I knew, that we weren't going to get a rate that was at or lower than what we had in the past. We got a really sweet deal with Ray's over the years, and we knew, just seeing what was coming in from our sister cities in their recent trash bid process, that it was going to go up. So it made it tougher for us to evaluate the 3 packages when we had one that was clearly less than the other 2. But there was other factors too. We checked references on all 3 of the bidders, and what we found is that all 3 of them have good things and bad things. I mean, trash is what it is. It's a lot of human behavior and a very complicated logistics process, and none of them had reviews that were such that it distinguished one over the other. We all felt like they were very capable and reputable, but some of the issues that we've had with Waste Management during the transition over the last couple of years, other cities were experiencing the same thing with their carriers. So we didn't want to make a decision based on solely what we had, some of the frustrations we had in our transition with waste management. The other piece I will say is, over the last 6 to 8 months, waste management's been outstanding. If you'd have talked to me this time last year, I'd said, let's get rid of them. I was so frustrated with all the complaints. And transition is hard. I don't want to be too hard on them, but I will say they have really stepped it up. They have a new person that's representing them that's our point of contact. She's amazing. She may have single-handedly positioned them in a place where they were a very strong bidder. And then the last piece is, one thing that's really important to me is, and we don't have any resolution on this, and it won't happen until after the board, if they so choose, to approve Waste Management as the winning bid. But we're looking at adding in some measurables and things that we can hold them accountable to if they do mess up, and they will. It's human behavior. They'll make mistakes along the way, but we do want better accountability on their part when mistakes are made, so that residents are being compensated for the mistakes that happen in their trash collection. I don't know what that looks like. We've had some ideas. Obviously, Waste Management will have a voice in that process as well, but we're going to be pushing real hard to get those metrics put into the contract, so that, again, when mistakes are made, there's accountability piece to it. So, and that's really all I have. John, I mentioned anything? Now, you and I talked ad nauseum about this for quite some time.
No, I think you've covered all the highlights.
Okay, great.
I have some additional legal background for the action today, if that's okay. So we already have done the proposed RFP, accepting comments, issued the RFP, received proposals. We've had the public hearing. The next step is to make a contract award to the proposal that's most responsive to the needs of the city. It must be in the form of a resolution. So of course there is no contract ready for you all to approve via resolution yet, because there has been no vendor selected to negotiate with. So that would be at the next meeting. So if you also choose, my recommendation would be for you to make a motion to allow the city administration to negotiate with whichever vendor you select. You've heard the recommendation of the administration. And then a contract would be brought back to you, and per statute, it would be approved with a resolution.
Perfect, thank you. Well, and to brag on the city a little bit more too, as we're looking toward long-term predictability of a vendor for residents, that helps. On top of, like every contract, there's a way out for performance issues, and so that's going to help us long-term. And then even better news, I don't need to change my automatic bill pay. Yeah.
Make sure you tell a lot of people that.
Do we have other questions on it, Chuck? Do you got any questions on this one?
I do, just briefly. So 6 years is what I heard. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I would assume that within that, there may be some increases along the way. I mean,
Yes,
we're in the
that-
negotiation,
That is correct,
stage, but-
and those will be highlighted in the resolution that you'll.
but at least, again, as Nick stated, we'll have some predictability.
It'll be very predictable, yes, and it will be it is frankly lines up very well with the sister cities here in Hamilton County.
That
So
w-
we're
That was
looking
my
at-
next question.
Yeah, we've compared it to what they're paying.
Thank you.
And the other piece too, as I failed to mention in my little dialogue, is that by extending the contract out, the rates actually dropped. And that's one reason why we're looking at a longer contract. It gives Waste Management more stability in what they're doing. It gives us more stability as well. And there was a price decrease that came with that decision. So that's why we stretched out maybe a little bit longer than traditionally we've done.
Smart. Well, I'd like to make a motion to allow the city to negotiate with Waste Management to bring a contract for resolution for approval at the next meeting. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
I just
Aye.
have a point. I just
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a point of clarification. Do we need to identify within that motion, or?
The vendor,
Yes.
that's correct. You did.
I did, yeah,
Yes.
Waste Management.
Yes.
Just wanted
For
to
the
clear
record.
that.
Yes, and then you'll actually approve the contract at the next meeting.
Thank you,
Yes.
sorry.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you. What's your vote?
Yay.
All right, motion carries. Thank you. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Yeah. Action item number 4, BW Construction and City of Westfield, build, operate, transfer agreement for Westfield Fire Department Station 85.
Here we go. For the record, Danielle Carey Tolan before you. Yes, before you, you have a BOT agreement for Fire Station 85, which is going to be located at 6 Points Road and 206th Street, up in our northwest area of the city. This agreement is to get into contract with BW Construction. We had 4 bids on this project. They were also very agreeable to making sure that 100% of owner contingencies and allowances come back to the city, which was a huge win for us on this project. But they came in below bid on the project, currently at $11,225,000. So we're very happy with how the owner's rep and BW has worked through this process, comparable to others.
Awesome, thank you for this.
Questions?
Yeah, thank you for this and the city's willingness to use a BOT and the private sector's flexibility to save the city money on projects like these and going through a competitive process on it. This is great.
I concur.
Hopefully, we'll do a lot to catch up with our backlog on number of fire departments we need. Any other questions on this one?
Danielle, what's the time frame moving forward?
Time frame on construction.
Station 85?
Yes, so it will be a 12-month, right? You want to come up, Randy? Yes. Mike, 12 months.
For the record, Randy Zentz, 958 Bright Beam Court, Westfield, Indiana. I'm the owner's representative on the project. After the finalization of this document and then the GMP, which is complete, the next steps would be to try and break ground by late October. The goal would then be a 12 to 14-month maximum construction period. So you're looking December of next year. It'd be a safe solution. I mean, that's pending weather, tariffs, all the
January
things
to
that
March
everybody throws.
for bad news.
I think we'll stay on, though. I'm very, very pleased with the operations of BW so far, how they've responded to everything, and it's truly a partnership type opportunity.
That's great. No, they've done a bunch around Hamilton County, and they've got a good reputation. Yeah, this will be great.
Does that answer your question, Chuck?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions on the BOT before?
I've nothing further. I would make a motion to accept the agreement for BOT on Station 85.
Second. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Action item number 5, Downtown Westfield Community Development Corporation and City of Westfield Agreement.
I'll be presenting on this one. I talked to Janelle ahead of time too. As you know what the Downtown Westfield CDC is, and you actually just already approved a similar agreement with them at the last meeting. That was for general property maintenance services, and they would submit invoices. We would submit invoices that they would pay just as the services were procured. This is the second and final contract for administrative and managerial services, such as preparing documents, attending meetings, secretarial work, advisory services. This would generally be the Economic Development Department and the Facilities and Events Department providing these. And this, instead of invoices for the actual maintenance work, this would just be a flat $12,000 a year that the city would receive for providing them these managerial services. So it's similar, but different type of work and different pay structure.
Thank you. Could you talk through a little bit of the need to separate them out? Is it just that different departments are paying for it? Is that
Yeah,
the
it's
reason?
just different types of work, and the payment will be different because it's easy to figure out the amount of work and how much it costs for the property maintenance and just send those bills, where this is just easier to do a flat fee up front because it's just a different type of work, the attending meetings instead of sending invoices for every meeting or things like that. So different payment structures, different departments, different types of work, just so we have everything documented cleanly.
Perfect, thank you. Chuck, Mayor, any questions on this one?
I have none.
All right, do we have a motion to approve?
Yes, I will make a motion that we approve the agreement for the services, the Downtown Westfield Community Development Corporation, the City of Westfield.
I will second. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. 6, AJW Enterprises in Westfield, Central Indiana Insulation right-of-way dedication.
Yes, for the record, Michael Pierce, City Engineer, Department of Public Works. This item is a pretty simple item, just a right-of-way dedication. It's for a parcel on the northwest corner of 169th Street and Westfield Park Road. They're going through the development process as part of a building expansion that they're doing on that project. So this is just dedicating right-of-way in accordance with our thoroughfare plan that we would see on any commercial development project. So we just ask that you approve that.
Thank you, makes sense to me. Anyone else have questions on this?
Nope.
No.
All right, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the dedication of public right-of-way as presented.
Second, motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Action item number 7, DW Farms in Westfield, partial termination of easement.
Sure. Again, for the record, Michael Pierce. This is for a parcel along Wheeler Road in the Grand Park area. John will go over there now. There's a self-storage facility planned on this parcel. Currently, there's a drainage easement that is recorded on the parcel for that drainage way that you can kind of make out on the GIS here that runs through the parcel. They have a plan to put buildings in that location, but as part of that project, they'll also be piping that drainage network in between the buildings. So this is essentially just moving that drainage easement, releasing the existing drainage easements that's there that they'll be building on top of, and rerouting that drainage through a pipe that'll run down through the middle of the drive aisle on there, basically. So just a form, because this was a dedicated easement that was recorded via a separate instrument, we actually needed to release that ahead of their development process.
And this was only a drainage easement, not
Correct.
anything else?
Yep.
And we've already looked through to make sure that the plans for their drainage
Correct.
going forward are going to be great.
Yep, we've reviewed their development plans as part of our normal development process.
Thank you. Anyone else? Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion made, I will second. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Action item number 8, Midwest Paving and City of Westfield Goods and Services contract for a pedestrian path extension on Grassy Branch Road.
Yes, so this is for basically an extension of pedestrian facilities along the Grassy Knoll subdivision on Grassy Branch Road. So as John, you can see on there, John's pointing to that area. They're extending that pedestrian pathway down in front of Grassy Knoll to get some pedestrian connectivity essentially from the neighborhoods that are north of there to be able to walk all the way down and get to State Road 32 and all the businesses down through there. So basically just filling in a gap in our pedestrian network to help people be able to, walk from commercial area back to their house and so forth. So Midwest Paving was the low bid on that at $103,612, and they're looking at still doing that project yet this year.
And I would just add that this project was included in our 2025 budget, and this number comes in underneath that budget number.
Great, thank you. Any questions on this one?
No questions, but just glad to see these things taking place to place.
We're going to do more of that as the city evolves. The only thing right now that we're not doing is to do a trail system, we're not doing eminent domain on somebody's private property. That's a hard no for me. I think that's an overreach by the government. There are times we have to eminent domain, but for a trail system, that's not one of them. So when we have cooperating landowners or areas like this where we can fill the gap without having to do any kind of eminent domain, we're going to continue to be aggressive in expanding that trail system.
Well, and on top of it, we don't have a budget to probably do all the trails all at once.
Exactly.
So
That'd be quite expensive.
We'll work it down as we can get through it. No, this is great. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Action item number 9, VS Engineering in Westfield. Agreement for engineering services, design contract for a roundabout at Grand Park and John Dipple Boulevard.
Yeah, John Nail again. This item before you is for roundabout design for the intersection of Grand Park Boulevard and John Dipple. It's kind of depicted here at currently a T intersection. This will also be the entrance to the new police headquarters. So the roundabout will be somewhat of a gateway into the new police headquarters that's being constructed to the west side of Grand Park Boulevard. VS Engineers is the designer and the contract holder on this particular project. The total amount is $288,500. This is well within the range of what we'd expect to pay for a roundabout design from a consultant. VS has done quite a bit of work on the design side for the city in the past and continue to do good work. I know Kenny Burke is in the audience here representing VS, but happy to answer any questions. We've just asked for approval so we can move forward on design of this roundabout.
Thank you. This is great. What's the total construction cost for the roundabout?
We don't have that number dialed in quite yet. I guess I would expect it to be just shy of $2 million. Just ballpark. We've done enough of these that I would expect it to be in that range. We're going to certainly look for some cost savings where we can. There's some roadside ditching available potentially for some storm drainage, which can help to reduce the cost. So I certainly like to come in under that $2 million mark on this project.
Great. Makes sense to me.
Just a point, so the west leg will go into our property, right?
That's correct. Yep, the west leg will be the main entrance, main public entrance to the police headquarters.
Sounds great. Do we have a motion to approve?
I move to approve the agreement for engineering services as presented. Yes, engineering.
And I will second. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 10, signing authority for Fire Station 81's parking lot expansion.
Yes, again, for the record, Michael Pierce. This is a project, we've been working with the fire department here for a while on this. They recognize that they have a shortage of parking at the new Station 81. So we've been working on designing a parking lot expansion basically to the north side of the building that would be able to accommodate some more vehicle parking on there. We designed out a parking lot and sent that out for quotes to contractors. This is just a signing authority to allow us to execute a contract once it's drafted. We did actually open quotes since the signing authority's been submitted. The lowest quoter on that job was Calumet, who most recently just did 181st and Wheeler roundabout for us, so a good reputable contractor. So we'd ask you to approve the signing authority so we can execute a contract with Calumet on that to get that built still yet this year.
Thank you. Remind me, is this pre-planned and budgeted, or is this?
Yes, I believe there's some budget number. Chief Roberts probably can talk a little bit more to that, but we've been working on this for a while, so they do have an approved budget on there for this.
Great.
I'll just also give kudos to Michael and his team. They actually did the design work for this parking lot expansion to save the fire department money rather than hiring a consultant. So this was an in-house design by the engineering team.
That's great. Thank you, guys. Any other questions on this one?
Where exactly, how many places, how many spots?
Yeah, so basically, you'd lose a couple spots here, but it would basically circle up around here, and you'd have double-sided parking along this whole drive aisle here. I think it works out to be like 35 to 40 spots. I don't remember the exact number, but a substantial increase to what's there, and then it would connect around back into here.
Yeah, that was a question, it connects.
Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, signing authority, Station 81 parking.
I will second. Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 11, signing authority for the trail between 161st and Cary Road and Oak Road.
Yep, again, for the record, Michael Pierce. This is a signing authority for trail project to fill in a gap between Oak Road and Cary on the south side of the road. Project we have been in design on for about a year or so now. We actually did bid this project out and have since opened bids on this since the original signing authority was submitted. We had 7 bidders on that project. Low bidder on that was E&B Paving, who's done a lot of work with us, so another good reputable contractor. Quotes, or the bids didn't come back under engineer's estimate, so that again was another positive. But we just ask for your approval of signing authority so we can get that contract executed and get them started on the job.
Makes sense to me, similar to the others. Any other questions? We have a motion to approve.
So moved?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, Michael. Action item number 12, issuance of RFP for towing and wrecker services for Westfield Police.
Afternoon, Eric Grimes, Assistant Chief for the record. What's before you is a request for proposal for towing and wrecker services. The laws changed July 1 pretty significantly for wreckers. So we are asking, we have 2 on our current list right now, so I thought it was a good time to reset our wrecker companies to bring those, push those out for the local wreckers in Hamilton County to submit proposals for us to go on our wrecker rotation. Just do an overview of all those that come in, see what works best for us, probably add a few more to diversify our record companies. Like I said, we only have 2 right now. With the laws changing, we thought it'd be a good time to update our record rotation list.
Can you talk, thank you. Can you talk a little bit more about the law changing?
I think more of it was transparency stuff with.
Yes, I can. So we had been talking about this, and there was actually a law passed that didn't seem to get much publicity, but it basically says that in your policy or agreement, there have to be certain things, like you have to say when people can come pick up their vehicles. You have to list all of the fees. You have to say the fees can't be unreasonable. You have to have a policy for how people can get things that are in the vehicle. There's about 10 or so new things that have to be in there. And some of those already were and some of them weren't. So basically, like he said, a lot more transparent and a lot more protective of people that get their vehicles towed. So we'll be revamping the policy and the agreement when the vendors are selected for the list.
Great. Yeah, the city of Indianapolis years ago under Ballard digitized a lot of those operations, I think, and that probably spurred some of that law. But yeah, now this is good to look at and do. No one wants their car towed, but they want to figure out where it is when it is towed. Any questions?
And just quickly, this would be to issue the RFP, and then similar to the trash, the police department would come back with their recommendations. You all would select the vendors, and then we would work together on updating the policy and agreements and getting everything in place document-wise.
I would just throw out there as well, with the recent change in the golf cart ordinance, we need to make sure these towing companies are also providing information around towing of golf carts if we have those scenarios, and I'm guessing we probably will in the near future. So we will make sure we don't forget about that one as well.
Yeah, 100%. If we request a wrecker for our scene, we anticipate they would tow whatever we need towed.
Okay, good.
Great. Well, I will make a motion to approve. Thank you for presenting. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, sir. Reminder, 13 and 14 have been tabled for this meeting. On to action item number 15, a proposed approval of the Purdue Pharma bankruptcy plan.
Sorry, you guys are probably going to get sick of me today, but I will present on this one. This is regarding the various opioid litigation against lots of different defendants throughout the state and all of the states. This action item specifically concerns Purdue Pharma, the bankruptcy, and the Sackler family settlements. This is expected to generate about $8 million in abatement funding, but we don't know any specific amounts for our state or our city at this time. So generally in Indiana, we don't need to act on these settlements. Indiana, as a state, has already joined the settlement, so we basically automatically participate. This one's a little different, and our outside counsel has advised that all of the Indiana cities and towns actually do need to vote on this to receive any funds from this bankruptcy and settlement. They have strongly encouraged us, and they represent a lot of cities and towns in the state, so encouraged all of them to vote yes on this and execute the settlement agreement. Years ago, before I got here, it looks like both the council and the Board of Public Works and Safety were voting and approving opioid litigation items. So I just decided to ask both the council and the board to approve this, just to be as safe as possible. Council heard this 2 meetings ago and did vote yes to move forward. And if you do so as well, then the city would just fill out the paperwork and send it off so we could receive funds.
But again, it's $8 million the state will get, but we don't know our share because we don't know how many.
I think 8 million
pool.
total as a total, and then it depends on how many people participate in the states, and then it comes in over many years, and it's,
We'll spend it when we get it.
yes, exactly. It's great to have. It's not going to be, it's not going to be able to do much, but we will add it to the other funds we've been receiving, and it's nice to have. We can use them for various things to combat the opioid issues.
Well, it's a good result. I mean, I think we all have someone in our families or friend groups who have been affected by this, and this is needed. Any other questions on this one?
No questions. I'll move that we accept the proposed settlement with Purdue Pharma.
I'll second it.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 16, donation of vehicles to Westfield Fire.
For the record, Jim Roberts, Deputy Fire Chief, requesting approval of agreement or to sign an agreement with Subaru Automotive of Indiana to receive 4 junk cars from them for training purposes. We were in contact with them, and originally we were going to get 2, and now they're giving us 4 cars. But with this agreement, it's just on their end, they need this agreement signed to be able to release those cars to us. Just request that signing authority, please.
This is great. How many, tell us about the trainings you'll be able to do with it.
Oh, well, these cars are actually running cars. We cannot drive them, of course.
Mm.
They're not allowed to be driven, do the way they are, but allow us to do any kind of training as far as automotive extrication, patient extrication out of these vehicles. So we'll utilize them for quite a while until at the end of it, they'll pretty much be cutting up to pieces just in training. So great training for our crews and our guys.
And they'll become scrap metal eventually as a part of this.
One thing I'll throw out there, and this is directed more towards my deputy mayor behind you, but I don't know I don't know if we've ever done this, but now we're taking responsibility for 4 cars. Does the clerk treasurer's office need to be involved at all in terms of the ownership of those and then disposal of them? I don't know. We don't need an answer here, but just popped in my head that we probably need to think that through. So we're getting ready to get an audit. I don't want us to get a ding for having 4 cars that we didn't have some documented ownership of, so that's something we need to think about.
Any other questions?
That's a good point. I would assume that maybe with a donation, that they will give us a value of maybe nothing.
Right, they're considered junk or to them.
That's
so
correct,
it's a zero value to them.
But we're taking possession of something that has almost no value. So, I mean,
There'll be a title, I'm sure,
We'll look into that.
transferred.
We'll receive a title, I suppose, a junk title, and we already have VIN numbers, type of car, years, and so forth.
Just make sure we're dotting our i's and crossing our t's. I don't think it's as simple as us taking 4 cars. And maybe it is that simple, but government's never that simple. So let's just make sure we're not getting ourselves into trouble and doing something that is good for you guys, but we didn't think it through the paperwork side.
Will do.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve the donation of vehicles by Subaru. Thank you to Subaru for doing that, to the Westfield Fire for training. Do we have a second?
second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. we have vehicle disposals. Okay, this is not the donation of vehicles. Having reviewed the consent agenda for vehicle disposals and bonds, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Department reports. Westfield Fire. Sat down too quick.
As you go through that, you can see our run load is up a little bit. The main thing on second page shows our total runs of 509 for the month of July. I did a little extra digging on this to ask our planning chief to look into year-to-date from January 1 to July 31st. For July, we show our run load being up 10.93%. But for the year-to-date, the 7-month total, our run load in 2024 was 2,853, and for 2025 in the same time frame is 3,153. So exactly 300 runs more for that same time frame. So it's actually year-to-date, it's a 9.5 run load increase. At that rate, if we continue on that, we'll be up about 500 runs for the year total. So yet to be determined, of course. But as you go through the report, we'll go back to they're all pretty self-explanatory types of runs or whatever. Mutual aid is pretty much standard on page 7 and page 8 with EMS and fire incidents. As you can see, we've given quite a bit more aid on fire incidents than we've received. That's a good sign that we're doing things right. We've got the equipment and the people necessary to supply that now. We're not relying on neighbors as much. So that being said, on the report that you have in front of you, I'll ask if you guys have any questions.
Thank you so much. Do you have any update or commentary on the rollout of the new penalties for the senior care centers?
We're still in the education phase at this point in time, educating those facilities. That's going very, very well. So what you're seeing here was during that time where that ordinance was put in place. So these are pretty much standard across the board. So August is yet to be seen as far as the final report, but we've seen a downturn, I would say, as far as the total number. It's going to slowly go down a little bit from their understanding, what we're doing. So.
That's great. Yeah, I'm sure even before it's active, the impact of the seriousness of it will change the conversation.
Absolutely.
And just to add to that narrative, not that it really applies to what we're doing here, but I've reached out to a few state legislators, both on the House and the Senate side, about incorporating into some legislation getting ready to come next year on healthcare around codifying that these types of facilities cannot charge those fees to the residents of their facility. So, one of the concerns we've heard out there is, oh, well, that's just going to roll to the elderly. And my goal is that won't happen. That's not the right thing to do, quite frankly. And I think the State House agrees. So I'm hopeful that next year you'll see some additional legislation that tightens that up a bit. And we could be the driver of that because we're kind of driving this change, which I'm super proud of you guys for coming up with.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Police, Westfield Police Department.
Eric Grimes, Assistant Chief for the record. I won't get too much into the report. I do want to take a minute just to highlight, I know August was a busy month for us. We had Colts Camp, we had Live Golf, two big, large events locally and nationally with Live Golf. I think those were very well put together. Spectacular performance really by our public safety people. And I just give hats off to our officers who worked those events. It was hot out, long days, but it was two very well ran events for the city on a national stage. So I hats off to our guys. August, again, we had 2 officers get shot at as well. That was a big one for Westfield. Stand-up job from the community all around regionally. So we appreciate the local support from law enforcement and everybody that responded to that as well. So August was a busy month for us. lot going on, but I just at least wanted to put our hats off to the public safety, police and fire for Live Golf and Colts Camp, so.
Yeah, that was great. I agree with all of it. I've gotten a couple more, it seems recently, the emergency alert texts and calls. Is that a change system, or is it just we had a couple more incidents this month, and that's why I would notice it?
I think we just had a couple more incidents. I know we
Okay.
pushed that one out when we had our incident up north. That was an intentional one to push out for public
Yep.
safety awareness and stuff. So it's working, which is good, but it helps notify everybody in the area.
Worked, yeah.
Yeah.
Other questions? Thank you so much. Public Works.
Yeah, thank you. Just a couple updates on some construction projects for you today. Since we last met, we opened 181st and Wheeler roundabout in advance of school starting, which was always the goal. Certainly proud of the inspection team and contractor for getting that one constructed in a pretty short amount of time while school is out. 161st and Spring Mill, we are still on track for the September 10th open traffic date. And then 171st and Ditch has started. There's some offline work that has been ongoing. We're looking to move over to the east side of that roundabout early in September. Basically, once we open 161st and Spring Mill, we'll move some traffic restrictions on the 171st east leg on that roundabout. With progress is good on that. State Road 32 continues. Reith Riley continues to make good progress on State Road 32 reconstruction work in our downtown area. And then our street department will be doing some Park Street demolition work on two houses on the sort of west end of Park Street, properties that Dan Moyer actually owns, but we have worked out a lease agreement to demo those properties and construct some additional temporary parking on the north side of Park Street on those parcels. That'll be very useful parking for when the Park and Poplar project goes through, which would then kind of take away some of the temporary parking we had constructed on the south side. So that's a project the street department will self-perform, again, to save pretty substantial money for the city rather than paying a contractor to do that demolition. And then another one that's ongoing, 151st Street west of Town Road, between Town Road and Shelbourne. We have road reconstruction work on that two-lane roadway that pavement condition kind of west of the Pulte development there in rough shape, so we're doing some reconstruction work out there, again, between Town and Shelbourne Road. Just be a couple weeks worth of work. It started earlier this week, so lots of construction still, but things are progressing slowly but surely on some of those roundabouts that we're wrapping up. So happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Well, kudos on the opening of the parking garage downtown. That might be a little more economic development than Public Works, but that's probably going to be some sort of relief to the folks who have been enduring all the construction as of late to bring more traffic back downtown. Thank you for all that.
Yep.
Any other questions for Public Works? Thank you. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved?
Second.
Before we do that,
Oh, yeah.
even, sorry, while we're still in session, I would just like to share with public and with our departments that there is an appreciation day dinner barbecue scheduled for 9/11, and that's by a gentleman and lives in Carmel, but he's been doing it for a number of years. Some of us know him as Woody, but there is an appreciation barbecue for first responders. So we invite all of those in the county to attend. It's from 11 to 7:30 p.m. A lot of good food. There's some minor entertainment, some giveaway things. So in appreciation, I think that obviously it's been shared here about all the events that we have and how those are out there right this minute protecting us and doing a great job putting their hard work on the line. So there you go. On September 11th, it's at the John Kirk Furniture parking lot on, I think it's Old Meridian. But anyway, come attend, anybody, first responder that served our country as well. So, thank you.
Thank you. Are you performing musical acts, Chuck?
I am not. I will be a simple servant,
All
but
right.
not, no entertainment.
Do you agree with our motion to adjourn?
I do.
Can we vote, Chuck?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
I'm teasing. Thank you for sharing that. That
Thank
is
you.
actually really important. If you could, make sure that Danielle gets a copy of that, and I'll have her send it out to all of our public safety folks. That's much appreciated.
Thank you. We are now adjourned.